Hey YouTube, I go by Nukeyhov. I'm about to take a 2-week car camping trip around Alaska. It's not my first time doing this. I did a 48-state road trip for 9 months in the lower 48, visiting every state capital, every large city, and over 50 national parks. So this time I'll be doing it out of a rental van.
Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my video. Here I am arriving to the Ted Stevens International Airport in late May of 2021, looking forward to a very active 2 weeks ahead. As I pick up my rental minivan where I plan to spend most of my time during this trip. I wanted to start my trip as sort of a tourist, so I rented a bike from Downtown Bicycle Rental and rode along the 22-mile Tony Knowles Coastal Trail. This is a fully paved walking and biking trail that goes along the coast of Anchorage. You'll pass through tunnels, bridges, and through the woods. If you don't want to circle back through the path, you can cut through the city to get back to downtown Anchorage. And if you keep your eyes peeled, you might even spot some wildlife. The trail is windy, goes uphill and downhill, and I would rank it as moderate, as some of the uphills are pretty steep. Later that day, I took a short drive out to Beluga Point. I was lucky enough to catch the Alaskan Railroad that goes by this photogenic spot where beluga whales can be seen during the summer. You can climb rocks and make sure to take plenty of pictures by this sandy pullover. I decided to do a few short waterfall hikes the next day just outside Anchorage. Here's a look at South Falls, a multi-tiered waterfall, and Thunderbird Falls, which is about an hour away. Both were short hikes and the only waterfall hikes on my Alaska route. Now let's take a quick moment to check in with me. All right, second day on the road. I'm here at a gas station called Turner's Corner on the way up to April Bowl Trailhead. And a lot of these gas stations have showers for $5. So it's super cool to know that. You don't have to get a gym membership or anything like that. Super cool. So let me show you a little bit of my setup I have here in the car. All right, here's a sleeping bag in the back seat. Trash bag. I just emptied it. Always throw your trash out. And in the front, I have all my electronics and my hiking gear, my drone, binoculars, random other objects. I make sure to always cover these with something when I'm outside of the car so that nobody gets tempted into breaking in. Get my water, my snacks, food, morning stuff, like for my toothbrush, toilet paper, some bug spray. Very basic setup, and I am happy. On Route 3 northbound, the road that takes you through Denali en route to Fairbanks. And as you can see, the scenery starts to become very mountainous. This particular stretch is known as Hatcher Pass, which is a very scenic drive through snowy tundra. The road winds through mountains for roughly 60 miles. The April Bowl Trailhead, which is what I was looking for, was closed due to snow and ice, so I decided to pick a random summit and start hiking. Hikes in the Hatcher Pass area offer 360-degree views from just about any summit. As you can see here. I proceeded to drive towards Mount Denali, the tallest mountain in North America, though if measured from base to summit is actually taller than Mount Everest. At just over 20,000 feet, the mountain attracts hundreds of climbers per year and has seen thousands of successful summits over time. I ran across this narrow rocky channel surrounded by dirt walls that reminded me of the slot canyons in southern Utah. On the way to Fairbanks is this abandoned igloo-shaped hotel that was constructed in the 1970s. Known as Igloo City, construction for this building was eventually halted because they were unable to meet building codes. Since then, vandalism and a lack of maintenance have caused this monstrosity to become almost completely deteriorated. There are 3 floors in this building, including access to the roof through a window on the top floor. Hanging out on the roof felt very unsafe, as it was simply made with insulated foam. Just next door to the hotel is what appears to be a convenience store, perhaps one that serviced a gas station at Igloo City, that has been completely destroyed. Everything you see, from toilets, refrigerators, cabinets, walls, sinks, washers and dryers, they've all been broken into and smashed. Most likely by teenagers. As I continued to drive towards Fairbanks, I drove through Cantwell, a small town just north of the Igloo with very pristine waters that run along the snow-capped mountains. Just outside Denali National Park is Bison Gulch, a hike that was recommended to me by a local. This 7-mile out-and-back trail ascends nearly 4,000 feet and offers a variety of terrain. The trail starts with a steep climb through some trees, followed by another steep climb through a rocky area. Eventually, you'll reach some flat open land that offers 360 views of the mountains and valleys below. I did run across some snow as I reached the summit. and I even found a bone that belongs to some unknown wildlife. If you do recognize this animal, please comment below. Fairbanks is most likely the northernmost North American city that's recognized by most people, with a population of roughly 30,000. So after 3 nights of sleeping, I just wanted to do a quick update on my sleeping situation. It's been a little bit of a challenge because every night the sun's still out when I go to bed, which is around 10 o'clock. So I'm going to bed hot, and then I wake up in the morning and it's freezing, so I wake up cold. Last night in particular, where I was parked, which was in between Fairbanks and the Ice Museum in Chena, there were a ton of mosquitoes. I had to keep the window rolled up, so it wasn't super bad in terms of the weather. Here we are arriving to Chena, a private resort about an hour east of Fairbanks. This popular resort offers all sorts of activities, including a visit to their natural springs, a dog training tour, ice fishing, and even a viewing of the northern lights during the winter. I decided to visit Chena for its ice museum. Those were the sounds of ice sculptors who are in there year-round, constantly updating the museum. As the world's only year-round ice museum, it's approximately 20 degrees Fahrenheit inside. Jackets are offered at the front door of this frozen adventure. The world's most notorious ice sculpting competition is actually held right here in Fairbanks, attracting more than 70 teams of competitors and 45,000 spectators annually. The museum has all sorts of frozen art, including a giant chessboard, an actual bar that serves alcohol in an ice glass, and even offers frozen rooms. And if you're bold enough to spend the night, you'll be provided with a walkie-talkie in case you need to use the restroom. But the stay will cost you $600 a night. For just $15, you're allowed up to 45 minutes to self-tour the Ice Museum. Museum of the North is a gorgeous structure designed by architect Joanne Serrano. Located in Fairbanks, the museum offers all sorts of native Alaskan history, artifacts, and wildlife exhibits. Along with an art gallery and an interactive exhibit, which was closed while I was there, this place is well worth the $16 price tag. Next on my list was North Pole, Alaska, a tiny town just a 25-minute drive from Fairbanks. This Christmas-themed town of 2,500 people offers a Santa's Workshop toy store, a reindeer farm, and all sorts of holiday-themed things such as candy cane light posts. And I was once again able to spot a moose with her baby spending some time by the bay. I set out early the next day with a local, who was kind enough to take me to an ice cave along the way to Glen Allen. We drove through some winter weather, which is generally unexpected in late May. The drive started off as scenic winter wonderland, but gradually became worse and worse. We even saw an overturned vehicle and an RV stuck in the snow. We arrived to the Castner Glacier trailhead in the desolate southern flank of the Delta mountain range. This 2.5 mile mostly flat trail was done through ankle-deep snow. But as you can see, you're rewarded with magnificent ice formations that are over 1 million years old. The deeper you wander into the cave, the warmer it gets. Looking back, I'm actually pretty happy that I got to experience some sort of authentic Alaskan wintry weather. Weather cleared up the next day as I drove towards Wrangell St. Elias, the largest national park in the US. At over 13 million acres, this road you see here leads you to one of the entrances of the park, which I decided not to go through as rental car companies forbid you to drive this 60-mile unmaintained gravel and dirt road. But I was lucky enough to spot some more moose right along the side of the road in that area, so I decided to linger around and observe. I was even lucky enough to spot a bald eagle on my way out. The next day I arrived to one end of the Glen Highway. Upon the completion of this trip, and having been to all 50 states, I would say Glen Highway ranks as my favorite scenic drive in all of the US. Stretching from Glen Allen to Anchorage, this 179-mile stretch offers countless views of snow-capped mountains, forests of tall trees, and the Great Matanuska Glacier, which is the largest glacier accessible by car. For $65, you can actually hike onto this glacier with a guided tour. The Glen Highway winds through the mountains and follows the Matanuska River. Along with its endless views, the drive offers hikes, water activities, and sightseeing tours. This particular view that we are looking at might be my single favorite landscape in all of the US, as we're overlooking tall, magnificent pines and fir trees in the valley of an almost symmetrical snow-capped peak, with the Matanuska River flowing to the right of the mountain. After a long day of driving, I decided to get back out there into the outdoors, and I found this exceptionally steep trail known as Lazy Mountain. There are two paths up this mountain, the other known as Lazy Moose, and this trail also offers 360-degree views of the mountains and the valley of the Anchorage area. Flattop Mountain. The peak is right up ahead. Right there. There's actually some people up there now. According to the large number of reviews found on Google and AllTrails, Flattop Mountain might just be the most popular hike in Alaska. This is a very heavily trafficked trail, as you'll be greeted by a jam-packed parking lot of over 100 vehicles upon entrance to the trailhead. You'll come across a few narrow snowy ledges, many sets of winding staircases, and a very rocky and steep ascend across the final 500 feet or so of this climb. Make sure to wear sturdy shoes and take extreme caution on this climb, as it's very easy to slip and fall. If you're feeling bold, you can even choose to slide off the mountain from the steep summit. I had another early start the next day for my hike to Byron Glacier, and as you can see, I had to hike over a giant patch of snow that was covering the trail en route to the glacier. This glacier is similar to Castner if it wasn't fully covered with snow, where you can typically traverse into the cave. This was essentially the best view I got of the glacier, but it was also my first time being in a valley surrounded by clear views of mountains all around me. Just around the bend from this glacier is Anton-Anderson Tunnel, North America's longest tunnel. At 2.5 miles, the single-lane tunnel takes approximately 6.5 minutes to cross at a speed limit of 25 miles per hour. You could wait up to half an hour on each end for traffic to cross before it's your turn. The tunnel ends in Whittier, a quaint touristy town with a beautiful boat harbor, a few restaurants, and a pedestrian tunnel that gets you into the downtown area. Now, my real reason for wanting to visit Whittier was a trip to the Buckner building, an old abandoned military building that is now completely gated with no trespassing signs posted everywhere. I didn't want to chance it, so I quickly took my 10-second video of the inside and went along my way. Seward, Alaska is a popular small town with a Midwestern feel about 2 hours south of Anchorage. It offers a waterfall along the side of the road, along with plenty of places to eat, things to do, and places to shop. A very thick layer of fog can be seen here as I set out for nearby Kenai Fjords National Park. This was en route to Exit Glacier, which is perhaps the most visited glacier in Alaska. Part of Kenai Fjords This glacier, like many others, are unfortunately melting. And this particular glacier has been retreating by hundreds of feet over the past few years. By the way, this aerial shot was captured by my DJI Spark drone, which is responsible for all my aerial footage throughout Alaska. You can also hike to the Harding Ice Field at Kenai, which is an 8-mile round-trip hike to a giant field of ice in the mountains. So currently at Kenai Fjords National Park, where yesterday there was a bear encounter and they had to shut down the park for a day. They found the bear, they shot and killed it. That's about all the information we have. But that tells me that it was a deadly encounter, because why else would they shoot the bear? So I got my eyes peeled. The ice field, which can be seen here, is approximately 1,100 square miles if you include its glaciers. I was lucky enough to run into somebody else on this particular trail who was super cool and motivated me to push myself to the top of this challenging trail. The last 2 miles of this trail were in snow, sometimes knee-deep, making the summit that much more rewarding. And as you can see, it offers 360-degree views of mountains. Just a few minutes from the peak, we encountered a small emergency shelter. All right, we made it to the emergency shelter at the peak. Got a shelter here on the outside. It's a good sign. Let's see if we have a concierge waiting for us. Oh wow, it's like a little prison cell. I'm here with Alberto, and we're gonna slide down this hill together. Say a prayer for us. Gotta tell you, if you've never slid down a mountain, get your ass off your ass and do it. Because it's a ton of fun. My last few days in Alaska were spent in downtown Anchorage, resting, relaxing, roaming, spending time in coffee shops, and visiting the Fifth Avenue Mall. Overall, Alaska is a gorgeous state with lots of outdoor activities, countless views of snow-capped mountains, even in the summer, and lots of open, desolate space. And if I had to choose, I'd rank Alaska as my second favorite state overall after Utah, which I'll probably do another video eventually explaining why. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe. And I'll see you on my next adventure.